tell you is true. One day, when I was like 5 or something, my parents and I were having this little chat. You know, I did something to get in trouble and we were sitting on their bed discussing it. They were explaining how every choice has a consequence, good or bad. They tell me what my punishment is and my mom asks me, was doing it worth the bad consequence? I sit there for a while with no answer. She says, I asked you a question. Was it worth it? I'm like, I'm thinking about it. I pause for a little bit longer and then I say, well, it was worth it. I stand by that statement to this day. Like, yes, absolutely, it is worth it.
Cheyenne, come here. What if we get down there and it's not really that funny?
That would be worth it.
Would be worth it?
It would be worth it.
It's going to be worth it when I'm upset and angry about the mess, if there's a mess down there,
Come here.
and about wasting food
Yes.
that costs money.
Yes. Yes. It's going to be, it's not going to be, it's going to be difficult if you guys are not mad. So what, you're my mom, and you're my dad. So you need to listen. Let's go with the cake.
Tell the number of the age of those up.
Hey Cheyenne, how old are you, buddy?
I'm 5.
I had been taking dance lessons and one day after class I overheard my dance teacher say to my mom, she's really good but she doesn't try. I was around 9 or 10 and I remember this so well. I remember thinking, that's true. But why do I do that? Soon after the recital I made sure to try extra hard, but it was too late. Worthless even, because you can't be great when you're not prepared. I spent most of my life like that. Not trying, not doing my very best, scared of my full potential. Until recently, I thought it wasn't okay to be as special as I am. Can you hold this? Like, to know I'm special. And to be that for others to see. But the beautiful thing is, every single person is just as special as the next. Would you top me off? I'm 14 and I skipped class for the first time. I had been getting into trouble a lot. I was really into lying. I thought it was very chic at the time. Anyways, my mom finds out and we have a little chat about it. I tell her, I won't do it again. But of course, I did do it again. Cut to me coming home from school that day. I'm in a great mood. Like literally skipping through the front door, great mood. Nothing could go wrong. Here I am skipping down the stairs to my bedroom. I turn the corner and what do I find? My mother. She's sitting on the floor of the doorway of my bedroom. Let that really sink in, okay? Like, be me and imagine. She's sitting on the floor of the doorway of my bedroom, completely surrounded by every single thing that I own. She's on the phone chatting so casually as she goes through all my things. I have a million notebooks, and she's touching every single piece of paper. She's going through every single thing in every single drawer. No, I full on promise you, she did not miss a thing. So what did I do? I did what anyone would do and turned right back around to ignore what was happening. I'm sure there was a talk about it, but I don't remember anything else about that day except for sitting on the floor of my room that is now completely empty. My bed is gone. My dressers with all my notebooks, art supplies, treasures, it's gone. My TV and stereo, gone. My walls that had been completely covered with all these magazine pictures, empty. All that is left in my room is my pillow and my comforter on the floor. And that is exactly how I went to sleep that night and every night for the next 6 months. During that time, I continued to get into more trouble, lie, have an attitude, all of the above. My mother goes to the Goodwill and picks out these 3 really bad outfits. Like, for me, in junior high, these were just embarrassing. She 100% went out of her way to get the clothes she knew I would hate. There was a dress, a jacket, awful tan pants, and some other things I do not remember. She took all of my clothes and shoes away and left me with these awful outfits to wear. Then she took all of my hair products and makeup. She did not leave a hairbrush because I remember going to her and saying, okay, but I'm going to get out of the shower, and then what am I supposed to do with my hair without a brush? And then she said, well, however it dries when you get out of the shower, that's exactly how it's going to be. I don't even know what to say because of how horrific it was to have that conversation end that way. And I'm also 90% sure that she took my contacts away and maybe were my glasses. So, if you can imagine me, Starlie, no makeup, hair looking like I didn't touch it for days, glasses on, wearing just these ugly clothes I would normally be caught dead in. They are just not me, and I just hate them. I don't feel like myself. I'm walking down the halls of junior high, and junior high is truly the worst. It's like really rough. You're a fresh teenager figuring yourself out, and it's already so brutal, but now I have to walk down the hall in these awful, awful clothes, feeling just completely embarrassed. And to top it all off, guess who was walking down the halls with me, sitting in every class, making me raise my hand when they knew I knew the answer? Yep, my parents. Good old Dallin and Sheridan spending every second with me at school. Then, because I had been hanging out with people that were bad influences, my parents wrote these notes the night before and came to school with me, and they basically said, do not talk to Starlie. She's not your friend. You're not friends with her. You are a bad influence for her. Do not even look at her. It was just awful. I had to take these notes and personally deliver them to the people I'd been hanging out with as my parents watched nearby. But please, do not forget what I'm wearing and how I look as I hand these notes out. So I'm standing there giving them notes with a message that had nothing to do with, doing all I can to have my eyes tell them I'm so sorry because I can't say anything. I cannot risk anything, or who knows what they will do next. I just had to hand the note and walk away. I feel awful. There is no other way to say how embarrassed and ugly and raw I felt. There's really nothing like having your self-worth and confidence tested while the whole school is watching it unfold with barely any context. Nothing like walking down the busy halls of junior high looking like I just woke up and completely stopped caring about myself. I'm holding back tears with every step I take, unable to look into anybody's eyes because I cannot explain this, and in all reality, what is happening feels completely out of my hands. I'm walking down the hall holding back tears like, I'm still Starlie. I'm still beautiful. It's fine. I'm still valuable. This is fine. I'm doing my best to still look and be confident and strong while being completely embarrassed and feeling absolutely worthless. I don't remember how it ended. The only thing I barely remember is going into my mom's bathroom at one point and asking for my makeup. But I have no idea when that was, and I don't even remember what happened in that conversation. All I know for sure is that towards the end of this whole thing, a random homeless man sneaks into the basement of the house my parents had rented for their office. The office where all of my things were being kept. This guy goes into the basement, lights a fire to stay warm, passes out, and dies. The fire ruined all of my things, and I wasn't allowed to go through them and see if anything was okay. I was like, come on, like, let me go through it. I want to see. I won't take anything back. I just want to see it. I don't even know what I have in there anymore. She said no. And that was it. Everything was gone. Forever. I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, yes. There is more to the story. A lot happened during my teenage years, but I don't have anything to say about it. There are chunks of my life I can barely remember. In the beginning of my junior year in high school, I found myself in a very toxic relationship. I fell in love with someone who was extremely manipulative and abusive to me to the point I completely lost myself. I'm not going to go into much detail about this relationship because I don't want to relive the trauma. I will say the relationship was so bad that when I went on Christmas break that year, I never came back to school. I don't remember much about that time except for laying on the floor next to the Christmas tree in a ball, crying for hours and hours, unable to move. I had been taken advantage of and played with to the point I didn't even know who I was anymore. I was so depressed, and I truly have no memory of this. But years later, I was told that I had been put on suicide watch and was almost hospitalized a few times. For the next year and a half, as I mourned and started to heal, I didn't do much, if anything, on schoolwork. I was supposed to be doing home and online school to stay on track, but I didn't. I couldn't. I could barely function. Cut to. I'm in a meeting with the counselor at the troubled kids school, and he tells me I have 2 weeks to get all the credits done in order to graduate on time. He tells me it's not looking good, and I'm like, okay, cool. Just tell me what I have to do. So, feeling confident, I go to my mom and I ask her, is she going to throw me a graduation party? And she's like, no. Starlie, you're not graduating on time. You haven't done anything. And I tell her, yes, I am graduating on time, and we are having a celebration. No one thought I would graduate. Not one person. But in 2 weeks, I did all the credits I needed for half my junior year and my entire senior year of high school. Graduated on time, and there was a party. This story truly starts when I was 12 and we woke up Christmas morning to our own instruments. I'm not going to tell that story because I'm sure you can Google it, and personally, I don't think it's interesting. I will say that after that Christmas morning, we learned how to play, started a band playing instrumental surf music, played together in matching outfits, eventually adding vocals so I could sing because, hello. This is where it gets interesting. We went on vacation to California 1 year and stopped by LA to go to this modeling agency for Daisy, who at the time was the only one in the family who wanted to model. What happened next was a true whirlwind. The kind of thing that happens so fast that when you pause for a moment and you think, there's no way this is happening, because it feels like a dream. So you just go with it, taking pauses every once in a while to wonder how this is happening. We walk into this agency, and I have a little attitude, almost defensive. I'm like, why do we have to be here? I'm 5'3", this is so pointless for me. I don't want to be here, let's leave. My mom basically tells me to deal with it and that we'd be done soon. What happened next is all blurred together in my mind. It was something like this. We go in, Daisy takes measurements and digitals. Then someone sees Lucky and gets interested in him, and then Pyper. Then we're all talking, and I'm getting measurements taken, and then we're all taking digitals, including me. We left thinking nothing of it, but kept getting calls to come back for meetings and other things. So we go back to the agency again for another meeting. This time, with every department head of the whole agency sitting at the table, we end up getting signed, including me, as individuals and the band. We're this random family living in Utah that has a band, goes on vacation, ends up shooting with Hedy Slimane, getting assigned to a modeling agency, and almost the entire trip gets taken over by opportunities that we can't even comprehend and don't even care about because we just wanted to go to the beach. Cut to us going back to Utah, and for like the next 3 to 4 years, we drive back and forth from Utah to LA for whatever job or opportunity that comes our way. As the opportunities kept coming in and got better, we decided to move to LA, not only for the modeling opportunities, but for the band as well. As a family, we talked and agreed that we would go as a team, all for one and one for all. We decided whoever booked a job and could pay for rent, groceries that month would, and we would work together for everyone to have success. That was the plan. Everyone agrees, and we're all super excited. I felt like everything in my life was finally coming together. And, you know, that it was the beginning of all my dreams coming true. We moved from a 7-bedroom house in Utah where everyone had their own room, a music room, and an art room, to a 2-bed, 2-bath apartment right in between the In-N-Out and the Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. In this apartment, my parents had a room, and the other room was ours. I was so happy to be in LA pursuing my lifelong dream of being a singer. I literally didn't care about anything else. I didn't mind sharing a room, a closet, a bathroom, or even a bed. I was just so grateful to be there. We would go to castings, photo shoots, or to rehearsal, and then come home, get our phones, get our headphones, and then be sharing the bed or the room with each other, but like, you know, in our own little worlds. And that was just what we did. We rehearsed music in the living room that we had made into our music room, and everything was happening. We were grinding it out, making sacrifices. That apartment was supposed to be temporary, but we lived there for 2.5 years until we were able to move into the house. A lot happened in Hollywood. While we continued to practice and write more songs as a band, my siblings' careers took off. My sisters booked more jobs, and my brother became the top male model in the world. They were constantly working. I didn't get the same opportunities as they did, but I was never jealous. I mean, I really believed my time would come if I put in the work and focused on the band. I had moments of weakness for sure, and felt like everyone had a second career besides me, but what was I going to do? I mean, okay, there were some pretty dark moments, and I definitely didn't realize it at the time, but looking back, I see I almost lost myself when we moved to LA. And I felt really insecure in general. Before, I was doing so many photo shoots with my friends and constantly creating something. When we moved, I didn't know anyone, and I didn't have room in our apartment to create, so all of that creativity stopped almost instantly. I didn't realize how deeply it had affected me to walk into a modeling agency and have everyone be obsessed with my siblings, and for them to be given all these opportunities I wouldn't be given because of my height. Especially when I had more experience in front of the camera than they did. The agency told me I had the perfect model body and that my measurements were perfect, but I was too short. The thing is, I had never wanted to be a model, and I had never in my life wished I was taller. But I had been manifesting being on the cover of magazines and doing shoots and music for as long as I could remember. I didn't want to be sad about something I couldn't change, so I just shoved it down that it hurt me, did my best to be grateful and focus on the bigger picture. There was also this insane moment. The whole family sat me down and threatened to kick me out of the band while we were living in the apartment because I wasn't doing enough or something. In all reality, I was sad and confused, and while everyone else was so busy with their own careers, I was just left home to wait until they came back so we could work on the band. There were so many ups and downs. I feel like watching your siblings live parts of the life you always dreamed of is interesting. It's not that I wanted their exact careers, because I'd always been more focused on singing. It's just, you know, when I'm watching them get really cool opportunities, grow a genuine fan base, and have financial security, all of that, it kind of pushed me into an uncomfortable and confusing place mentally where, you know, I love them so much, and I'm so happy for them. At the same time, I wish I could have what they have too, you know? Like, all I could do was tell myself, it will be worth it. This is going to be worth it. Just hold on a little bit longer. Meanwhile, so many people kept telling me, you'll be the biggest star. You're the front woman. You'll be the most successful, you know? But, I mean, who cares about that kind of thing? It made me feel like, okay, I can do this. I just have to hold on a little bit longer. Anyways, Lucky started a movie and I got to sing 2 of the songs in it. That's where we got connected to Simon Fuller, who we met while we played music at a La Mer event. We signed with Simon and started working with Rock Mafia, who we wrote our songs with. Finally, things were coming together. This was huge. This is what I had been sacrificing for. Now, I was busy in the studio, recording, taking vocal lessons. We were having lots more band practices and getting ready for shows. I was working hard. We were all working hard, and we were finally able to move into a new house in Glendale that had a pool and tons of space for everybody. Everything was coming together in big ways. Opportunities continued and got bigger. We kept booking magazine shoots for features and covers. We planned more shows and tours. We went to Paris and Milan Fashion Week and walked the runway for Dolce & Gabbana twice, me included. We traveled all over the world for work and grew a bigger fan base all over the world. We were on the radio a few times and in a few places. We booked the H&M Coachella campaign and got to play both weekends at Coachella, as well as the H&M in Times Square. Dreams were coming true. We put out songs and kept writing more. It was working. We were gonna make it. Having 2 phones is such a powerful feeling. It's very underrated. I was engaged once. We were together for 2.5 years. We met through Instagram, right before I moved to LA, and it was this truly epic whirlwind of falling in love. For a few months before the move, we FaceTime texted every single day, all day. We made each other art, wrote letters, and mailed things back and forth, and he was like, I felt like he was my person. Timing of all of it, it felt like perfection. Everything changed the second I got to LA. It was supposed to be this epic meeting, but when he comes to pick me up for the first real date, something was so off. I was like, it's okay. He's probably nervous. It's okay. The second we get in this elevator, he's going to kiss me and never stop. He didn't even hold my hand in that elevator, and then proceeded to tell me later that evening, I know you want to kiss me, but I'm not going to. There were so many red flags, but the way this relationship started, I was so committed to that magic. I didn't want to see them. I ignored them all because I was new to LA, lonely, and I believed in our connection, the magic that we had. I wanted it. I wanted to love and be loved. I lost myself even more in that relationship and felt like I was never good enough. It made me feel horrible about my body and so many other things. But I wanted what I thought I had with him. I wanted love. One day, during an argument about, furniture, I realized this relationship was not all what I had imagined for myself. That he was so wrong for me, and just like someone who came in and turned the lights on in a dark room, I saw everything I had been ignoring. I broke it off, and on the day we were supposed to get married, do you know what I did? I decided I was going to throw a disco, a celebration to take back my power and reclaim that day. I called it my close call party because I couldn't believe how close of a call it had been to be married someone who was so wrong for me. I got my friend to GJ and invited everyone I knew. We got these big silver balloon letters to spell out close call in the main room, and I danced barefoot on confetti for hours in this hot pink vintage feather robe, surrounded by silver tinsel and disco balls. It was a whole mood, like, let's celebrate. I really dodged a bullet here, you know? Funny thing. I feel like I would have never married him. Like, I would have gotten close maybe. Maybe I would have been a runaway bride. But I can't imagine a world where I actually went through with it. Sometimes I feel like I get as close to the edge of the cliff as I possibly can. So close! It's like, if I breathe, I'm falling off and making the biggest mistake possible. But I never did. I would turn right back around with this crazy confidence like I wasn't just about to fall to my death. I feel so many things so big that sometimes I really feel like I hate myself. Like I'm going to lose my mind because I can't stop feeling everything to the maximum. It's all so extreme. And I'm tired. I'm tired of myself, and I feel like I'm alone in this. I'm alone, and everything I feel and think is so dramatic, it's completely unrelatable to anybody else. So I'm over here on an island practically spinning out, either because I feel so alone and misunderstood, or because if I don't express what I feel, I might explode. But if I do, if I confess, it's almost a guarantee I'll be too much. Isn't there a happy medium? There must be. And I search, but I don't know anymore because I can't find it. How am I supposed to feel normal and not too much for everyone when everyone I meet is so chill, so calm? And maybe I look calm. That's only because I don't trust that whomever I'm talking to won't just disappear the second they see and feel me. One of the best days of my life was when I was told I had bipolar 2. I had been going to a psychiatrist convinced I had some sort of mental illness because all my emotions and feelings felt like too much, and I constantly felt like I was losing my mind. I felt insane. I would even tell people,
Just take me to the hospital and check me in because I am not okay, and that is the best solution I can think of. So, I've been talking to my doctor mostly about my anxiety and depression, but claiming there was something seriously wrong and I needed help. Searching for a disorder that fit me because I needed to justify why I am the way I am. On one of my appointments, I came in showing a different side of me than had usually been at the appointments. To put it simply, a bit manic and way more energy. Overall, less depressive. So, my doctor is asking me all these questions, and then she's like, okay, you are bipolar. You have bipolar 2. She explains the difference between 1 and 2, and I'm like, oh? I'm excited. Because for me to be me and feel everything I feel, it's a lot. It's so dramatic. So many ups and downs. I was feeling like there must be something wrong with me because no one I know is like this. I don't know anyone that feels the way I do. I'm over here sitting at this appointment, thrilled, as if I had just got the best news in my life, because to me, I did. I finally have an explanation. I finally know why I am the way I am. I can finally explain, even excuse, to people like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm bipolar. That's why I'm like this. No one could say anything now or they'd be insensitive. I thought I had all the answers and like this was the greatest news of my whole life. I told everyone I knew as if I had just got my dream car. One day, after about 2 years of me being on tons of pills, mood stabilizers, antidepressants, anti-anxiety, all of that, I got this feeling, this strong knowing, like I didn't need these anymore. I felt so strong in my heart of hearts that I was not any kind of bipolar. So, I followed my heart because I couldn't ignore that strong feeling of inner knowing and went off on them like cold turkey. I am not recommending this. I'm only speaking from my personal experience. It was the best thing I could have ever done. I haven't been on any mood stabilizers or antidepressants since, and absolutely nothing even close to consistent for anxiety. I've done a lot of work on myself over the years, all types. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. I made my subconscious conscious. I've worked hard. I've worked hard through so much, and I realized the truth. I have been given a gift. To feel things as deeply and intensely as I do is a gift, one that deserves to be honored. For a while, I honestly didn't want it. I felt so alone. I got called extra, dramatic, a roller coaster. Dating is so hard because of it, and I felt misunderstood often. So, I numbed the gift. I got sensitive and felt insecure about who I am, and I turned it all the way off. But I realized what an honor it was to be able to walk into a room and feel another person's energy. What an honor to be able to feel an immediate change in a room when someone feels something different than they just were. How blessed am I to be able to love and feel so passionately in a world where so often people numb themselves not to feel a thing and hide who they really are and what they really feel. Now, years later, I am proud. Proud to be who I am and to feel fearlessly, passionately, and openly. Of course, sometimes I catch myself getting a little insecure when I meet someone new. I can't count how many times I've said something real and vulnerable to someone and been rejected. But it's all good. It is magical because I've come so far and I know who I am. With love and gratitude, I choose to honor how I was created and who I am, a powerful, passionate, loving, creative, inspiring woman of light.
Do you know what I did yesterday? overflowed the pool. Alright, around the time I'm getting ready for our Coachella show, rehearsing at least twice a day, I'm waking up early, I'm getting extra fit, I'm working harder than ever. I'm busy. I love being busy, I thrive. Life is great. Then it gets better because I meet this guy through mutual friends at like a show or something. I see him, I want him, I do something about it, okay? I make my move and we hit it off. He lives in Utah, so we end up texting, FaceTiming all the time. I love big, I love fast, I love to love, I'm passionate, and I live for this. Like, I thrive catching feelings. One night, I'm feeling so much that this letter starts writing itself in my head. And this always happens to me, it's not new. So I do what I always do, and I start writing the letter out. I write exactly what I'm feeling. I don't reread it, I don't edit it, I don't question it, I just write it and send. I don't expect it, but he writes one back. Next thing I know, we're writing these letters to each other back and forth all the time. Talking about how we feel about each other, the future, just truly living in the moment. And it's like magical, right? I'm getting ready to perform at Coachella, my career is thriving, and now my love life is happening, and it is hot. This is truly what my dreams are made of. I couldn't be happier. I end up getting him a ticket to come to Coachella so he can see me perform and we can spend more time together. You know, really solidify this connection we have in person. The plan is for him to drive from Utah to California and stay in this house we're all kind of staying at. Just chill and have fun. We're both a little nervous, but I'm like, no. This is great. It's going to be amazing. This is what I live for. I'm going to give the best performance I've ever given and fall in love. This is everything. He's finally arrived and we're trying to find each other, only I was not really helping him find me. Finding someone in the middle of Coachella is like impossible. It's hard work, right? And I was letting him do all of it. And if that's not the first sign this whole thing was about to take a turn, I don't know what is. Let's go. Finally, we meet up and I see him. And I don't know what to say about this. I cannot explain it. I just kind of hate him. Like, I'm just over the whole thing, and I don't know what to do about it. I hate what he's wearing. He's wearing this, like, tank top that had a bold pattern on it, and he's hot. He's so hot, but this tank top is killing me. I hate men in tank tops, okay? Like, I really cannot. And I swear, there's barely an acceptable time for a man to wear one. Like, you and your tank top have to be special, okay? Be special, otherwise just don't bother. Anyways, it's a huge festival and there are so many people there, which at the time was really stressing me out. And then I'm just stressed because I don't want to be anyone's girl so soon in such a public place, and his outfit. Like, I'm losing it. I do my best to pull it together, I think. Once we get out of the festival, it'll be fine. We go back to the house, order food, we chill. I'm still over it, and I'm doing the best I can to talk myself off the ledge, but I really cannot with him. I mean, I don't know. The whole situation is just beyond me. I'm texting my friend who's there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, please get here. I cannot with this situation right now. I need backup. Do whatever it takes, just get here now. She comes, I go get her, and I swear, if you would have seen my face at the door, I'm panicked. I'm stressed. I'm hating myself. I feel awful because we had been writing these love letters for weeks saying all this stuff, and I don't know what to say because, I mean, I meant it when I said it, and I really did feel those things, but when he gets here, I'm just like, wait, whoa, no, what? No, and I don't know, I should have known it was bad timing, right? Like, I don't need to have a guy with me when I'm at Coachella about to play the biggest show of my career so far. It is just not the time. And what was I thinking? I have no business bringing a fresh romance to this kind of environment. So I don't know what to do. He's like, can I kiss you? And that just pissed me off even more because I'm like, why can't you make a move? Be bold and make a move, bro.
We've been saying we want to kiss each other for weeks now. Why are you asking me? You should have already swooped in on me with 100 moves by now. The whole thing is making me sick. And it's a disaster. I go to bed early, because what else am I going to do? And I feel bad. I feel so bad, okay? I really do. I feel so mean. I cannot force myself to be in this situation anymore. I tried. I tried for hours. But I'm on the ledge and I'm jumping off. What's done is done. I just can't. The next morning is the day of the show. And I'm just beyond. This is a nightmare, okay? I feel bad I'm not into him. I mean, he's such an amazing guy, but it is a hard no. I have so much on my mind with my performance, and this whole thing is my fault because I know myself way better than this, and I should have known. The timing couldn't be worse. I literally spent the whole morning avoiding him. I'm making whatever excuse I can find. We do the show. He obviously watches, and I swear, I can't even look at him. I'm just like, please don't think I'm great. Please don't. But he's so supportive, and I just don't know what to say about myself at this point. I see him after the show, and I just can't even be near him. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm awful. I just keep making excuses like, oh, I have to go do this event, or this press thing, or whatever, this shoot. I was genuinely busy for sure, but we all know that when someone says they're busy, they have time, okay? They can make time, and they will make time for what they want, right? That's a fact. I know that. Everyone knows that. And at this point, I just can't even imagine what he's feeling after my shit behavior, so I'm just doing my best to be kind and loving, but he and I, it is just not the move, okay? I really don't know what to say about what happened after that, except for at some point he went home, and then I went home, and I had to really face the music. Pretty good.
I walk down the stairs like I don't know what's about to happen, even though I do. Almost surprised, like I really believe this day didn't exist in my future. Maybe I'm numb or delusional? In denial? I don't know, but I'm cool. So we're all sitting there, the band, my parents, our management team, talking, sharing our feelings, thoughts, experiences. It's heated. Emotions run wild. We have a deal with MTV on the table. The future and life as we know it all being discussed. The energy is high, but I'm strong. Like, I'm almost on her side. I even stand up for her a little bit. I believe her feelings. I want her to be happy. She's like, I don't want to do it. I have other dreams. I want to support her, so in my own confused way, not really wrapping my mind around what it really means, I do. Everyone's coming up with ideas, solutions, compromises. He says, I'll do it if she does. The rest of us left knowing the decision is on her. Our management team tells us it's either all of you and we do the deal with MTV, or none of you and this is the end. Some of us are begging her, even pleading. They ask, do you know what this means? Do you understand? She does. Everyone does. Except, I'm not really sure I do. Maybe I do, and I'm just torn between my happiness and hers, because I'm almost campaigning for everyone to follow their hearts and live their truth, not paying attention to what that really means for me. And just like that, she's out. It's over. Everything we sacrificed and worked toward for 6 years, over. All of a sudden, as if I hadn't seen it coming for months, as if I had no concept of what had actually been happening in the room over the last few hours, it hits. I can't breathe. I'm sobbing. She gets up, walks out of the room, and slams the front door. The sound, her action. It's also final. My brother picks me up. Like, he fully cradles me. Like I'm a newborn baby. And that's almost how I feel. Because I'm so fresh, like I've been ripped from the only thing I've ever known. He carries me up like this to my room, lays me on my bed, and I cry until I fall asleep. No management, no more income. I won't be able to stay in the house anymore. All the opportunities we had, and my lifelong dream coming true, gone. The atomics are over. I swear I blacked out. 2 days later, I decide I'm leaving LA. 5 days later, I'm in Utah. Everything I own in a car and a moving truck. Absolutely no clue where to go, where I'm gonna live, how I'm gonna survive. But I don't feel a thing, because I'm numb in survival mode. So I'm in Utah, right? And I knew I wasn't okay, that my life was changed forever, and that it was all overwhelming and completely heartbreaking. But I wasn't really crying. I felt like I was handling the whole thing really well. I remember thinking, wow, I'm such a strong person. I'm handling this so well. I even hosted Christmas 2 months after the band broke up in my place with my sisters. That's what survival mode will do to you. It makes you feel like everything is all good. It's a delusion of dangerous protection. I had gotten this sales job because I thought that's what I had to do. I thought it would fix my life. I thought it would make me happy. All I wanted to do was hustle and have side projects and work my ass off. I just wanted to work. I wanted to build an empire, and even though the one I had been building just got ripped from me, I didn't want that to stop me. I didn't want to have a normal life doing normal things. I wanted to build multiple companies and be a star. So, I started doing a little flower business. I spent like all my money buying flowers, creating designs, and trying new things, making arrangements and taking photos of them so I could get clients and hustle. It worked. Next thing I knew, it was Valentine's Day and I had like 28 orders for arrangements. So here I am, basically a one-woman show, thriving in the chaos of it all, telling my friend, get here now, I need backup, we have flowers to prep and arrangements to make, it's the middle of winter and there's snow outside. I'm doing what it takes, sacrificing my comfort because the heat is off in my apartment and I have a window open in one of the rooms so the flowers stay good and fresh. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I act like I do and I fully believe myself. It's madness, my favorite kind. The entire floor of my 2-bedroom apartment is covered in leaves, stems, and petals. I'm barefoot stepping on thorns every 5 seconds, but I don't care. I'm happy because I'm creating, and this creative chaos is what I live for. I'm writing personal thank you love notes for every order, and I'm even making extra arrangements because there is nothing I love more than being so busy I don't have time to breathe. Valentine's Day is the next day. I have my sales job in the morning, so I'm sending my friend out to deliver some of the orders while I'm writing love notes, creating, and designing. I'm throwing flowers around, hating what I'm making, but within a moment, thinking no one is more genius than I am. You know, a typical artist. I barely slept. Next day at work, I'm sneaking out of the office to the parking lot where I'm meeting people and selling orders from the back of my car. Then going back in to get on the phone and cold call, back and forth all morning, and I'm so proud because this is the hustle. This is what we love. Suddenly, I have a rush of panic. I'm freaking out. I go to the bathroom so no one sees me crying because the tears are flooding in faster and bigger than I'm ready for. I'm just like, what in the hell am I doing? What is my life? Wait, why do I have a sales job? I'm so confused, as if I hadn't paid attention to the new life I was creating. As if I had just got a download from what my life is now. I quit within the hour. I guess I wasn't numb in survival mode anymore. The new reality of my life was intense. One day I'm good and the next I don't get out of bed. I'm scrambling to fix it. Telling myself I can still do music. Telling myself nothing will stop me. I'd have random writing sessions and think of ways to get new management, but it's useless because I don't feel good enough. It's also raw and the reality sets in differently but just as fresh as the first sting multiple times a day. I continue to come up with new ideas, new businesses. I'm scrambling to come up with a new career, and I swear like every other day I have a new idea. I'm begging myself, do something else with my life. To find a new passion, new goals, new dreams. I plead with myself to just want something else for my life. To be normal. I literally tell myself, please, please just be a teacher, or a florist, or a therapist. Just pick a different life, please. But I don't want a different life. And why should I have to choose something else when I just performed at Coachella, walked the runway for Dolce & Gabbana, and had a deal for a show with MTV on the table? Why do I have to pick a new career when my old one was working? I didn't choose to end this. I never wanted to start over. But it's fine. This is fine. I'll just do my own thing. It'll be great. All of our management always told me I was the star, that I would be the most successful of my siblings. And I don't even care about that, but they all said it, so this is fine. I can do this. I'm gonna do this. I got this. I have a guitar that sits in the corner of my room, and I don't touch it. I feel myself singing, and it puts me into depression because I don't think I'm good enough. I hate myself in these moments, and I wonder why I'm not talented as a singer. Why I want something so bad, something I wanted for as long as I can remember that I'm not even good at. I must be in some twisted game, or maybe this is hell. I feel trapped and I'm angry now and confused because I feel like I've been set up for failure. I feel so inadequate and lost, like I just want to be somebody else. I'm in misery and I'm not sleeping. Literally, the only thing I can get myself to do besides cry and lay in bed is color in a little kid coloring book and watch Trixie and Katya on YouTube. I don't know who I am or why I exist. I am barely hanging on. I isolate myself because I don't want to bring this energy around anyone. I'm spending money I don't have. I'm not working. I feel so ugly. My acne is at an all-time high. I'm gaining weight. I don't even recognize myself. But in the back of my mind, it's like the smallest amount of belief you've ever seen, I still know I can be great. That I am great. I go back to that place where I would look in the mirror and imagine the life I would have as an artist accepting awards. I start to believe that one day people will need to know about this. They will want to know. So I film everything. I have a mental breakdown. Okay, 1 sec. Let me get my camera. I pick up my guitar for the first time in a year. Let me get my camera. I'm filming everything and I'm believing in myself more and more. I'm picking myself back up.
Every action has a direct consequence. We know this. And I also still stand by the statement that it is worth it, even when it's awful. So, it caught up to me. My delusional mental state, my reckless, impulsive, and self-sabotaging behavior, all my money spending, concept that I had money if I had room on my credit cards, getting more credit cards, and maxing out all of the credit cards, not working consistently and minimally if we can even call it that, the borrowing money and the trickery I pulled to pay for and get what I needed, which, by the way, most of I didn't need and had no business thinking that I did. Oh, how entitled I felt because of what happened with the band. The success and opportunities my siblings still had when they were gone from me. It caught up in the same way the good guys always catch the bad. Now, I'm having moments of looking in the fridge and seeing no food. Because I already ate the food in there that was the no food. No gas in my car to go get fed by family or friends. My bank account is in the negative again. I used up every resource I can possibly think of. I overused them. They're exhausted. And there's only one thing left to do in this disaster I created for myself. I'm gonna sell everything I own. I'm literally gonna sell everything. My couch, my bed frame, every single piece of furniture and unnecessary thing I own. I have no other choice. I have to sell it. Everything I can get more than $10 for is being sold. I have to sell my designer clothes and accessories. I tell myself I can keep my most favorite things, but everything else has to go. I sell sunglasses, shoes, jewelry, bags, clothing, dishes, and kitchen appliances. Everything and anything. I just got like the second eviction notice in a row on my door. I have no choice but to sell it all. I'm about to get evicted. I call my friend and I tell her, please come over. I have to sell everything. I'm getting evicted. This is what it's come to. There is no other way and I cannot do this alone. We have to take photos of everything and post them online. She comes over. My apartment is a total mess. There are piles of things to sell everywhere. We start taking photos of everything and I have this like studio photo light and I'm using it to take photos of my bed frame and my couch. So I can get really good light because at a time like this, I still care about things being high quality. We are sitting on the couch and the time has come. I have to put my things online. And I'm thinking, okay, I have lots of great stuff. Maybe my family and friends would want some of it and then they can help me out at the same time. I mean, I am just reaching right now. I'm doing everything I can, whatever it takes. So here we are, sitting on the couch I'm about to sell, while her baby is playing around us and her son is filming the entire thing because I am convinced that one day many people will know this story. Literally still convinced, even in this moment, that someday there will be an HBO special on me and we will need this footage. And I'm like, we need to make an Instagram with all the stuff I'm selling so that we can send it to people we know. That's the best way. I'll just make an account and we'll put all my stuff on it for sale and share it with everyone we know. And maybe between this and the other places we put stuff for sale, I can get somewhere and survive this. We start coming up with names for this Instagram because what is this account going to be called? Full on brainstorming because it needs to be something I can't be recognized for right now. Because again, I'm planning on telling the world this story. But not yet. Timing. I'm still going to be a star. And I'm going to use this. Thinking of all these ideas and we're laughing because this is so tragic. But it's like classic, you know? Like, you can't make this up. I cannot make this up. I wish I did, but in some twisted way I don't because I almost think it's epic. No. I totally do. Because I know I'm going to take advantage of this experience one day. So I'm like, okay, what are we going to call this? We're both spitting out ideas like, before she knew she was poor. Before she knew she had no money at all. What about, like, she's really poor and her life is a mess? She's getting evicted. That's the name. It's perfect. She types it in and it's available because why wouldn't it be? I post all the things I'm selling on it. So we're sitting there laughing so hard because we made this lemonade. Laughing because it's all we can do. And if I don't laugh, we don't know what will happen. Is it a mental breakdown? Am I shutting down and off from my life? We don't know. So we just laugh. Now all my stuff is being posted online and she's getting evicted on Instagram. It's still there. Go see for yourself. I haven't touched it since. The desperation is loud and clear. And I'm wondering, how do you price things you don't even want to sell? That's the reality, and I'm sick about it, but I'm empowered. Because I'm doing what it takes. It is what it is. There's nothing that can be said about it, except for, if I don't do this, I'm going to get evicted. We go into my room and I pull out sunglasses. I start organizing them in piles, like 15 pairs, that are almost exactly the same shape and size. And immediately I'm defending myself before they're even out. I'm like, it's not that they're different. We go through them and I'm like, I need these. These are my everyday look. I'm having a hard time with the concept of letting some of my things go. I'm defending every pair. She's like, you don't think any of those should go when she's getting evicted? And I'm like, no. Priorities. We can live without a couch, but we cannot live without our dignity. She's like, okay, you're going to look amazing getting evicted. And I say, I'm going to look amazing getting evicted with my fur coats and sunglasses. And she's like, yeah, in the moving van. Laughing until we cry. I'm like, I don't even think we can afford a moving van.
I'm writing someone in jail. Here's the biggest question of all. Where was I going to move when I moved out of my apartment? I had no idea, but I for sure was still going to have my own place. I would do what I had to do. So I start looking for a new place. Like, I didn't just sell everything I owned to afford my life. I find a place. It's perfect. My cousin lives there too. Chic. I apply to the place, and I don't get approved because the outstanding debt I have would make you cry in a ball on the floor. But you know what? The power of intention is real, and with intention, not one single thing can or will stop me from doing what I want to do and getting what I want. So, I'm going past the point. I'm doing everything I can possibly think of to get approved from this place. I'm working hard, and I'm making it happen no matter what. And by some miracle, which I will never understand, or maybe I just am that powerful of a creator, I get approved. I move out of my old apartment just as Lise is up into my new spot downtown. Everything is going great. No worries here. I start working more. I do whatever random job I can find. I'm cleaning houses. I'm organizing for people. I get a job at Sephora for the holidays. I'm just living, going through the motions, making it happen, doing the best I can. I'm working and I'm feeling good. I have my siblings over for Christmas and it's all great. They leave one day and in the beginning of January, me, unassuming, coming home from work, climbing up like 5 sets of stairs because there's no elevator in that place. I get to the front door and what do I find? What a surprise. Once again, she's getting evicted. So I'm back at it. Selling more, doing what it takes. I'm doing anything I can. I'm selling everything. I'm selling all the shit that I didn't sell before. And I know this isn't gonna work. I'm not making enough to support myself. Even selling more things is not gonna fix this. This is a disaster. I called my parents and I say, there's nothing I can do. I cannot afford my life. I have to move in with you. I'm facing the facts. I'm moving to Texas. I have to fix my life. This is the only way. I had no choice. I was either getting evicted or moving. What's done is done. I was moving to Texas. So I'm talking to my mom on the phone and I was like, can you come here and drive back my stuff with me and help me unpack my apartment? I have to pack up my apartment in 5 days or I'm getting evicted and they're shutting me out. I literally filmed myself the whole time because I'm still convinced that one day this footage is going to be iconic. I go to buy boxes and pack up 90% of my things and I put it in storage. I'm spending my last dollars with no incoming cash flow in sight. I'm just throwing things in the bag like, I'm abundant, this is okay, I can afford this. My mom comes and we pack up my place in like 4 days. And then we drive to Texas. There is something magical about Texas, and even more when you're moving there thinking all your worries and problems will be solved like I did. Moving back in with your parents at 25 feels kind of embarrassing, but you can also just twist it and make it sound like you're really smart with your life, working hard and sacrificing, when, you know, the reality is you have completely messed up your life and you don't know if you can ever come back from it. Twisting it makes it sound like you have it all together, and you can even trick yourself into thinking this is a perfect situation. Nothing at all is wrong. I get there, the pressure to make moves is on, and I'm feeling confident, but it's trickery, because debt collectors keep calling me every hour, I swear. My bank account has been in the negative for 2 months. I hate my life, and in all reality, I'm not a fan of myself either. I have to get a job. I have to make it. I have to make it happen so I can be happy and take control of the very messed up life I created. I went through like 90 ideas of what to do. I created concepts for 2 clothing companies, got an investor, thought all my worries were in the past, lost the investor, applied to all kinds of jobs, made like 10 different resumes, started to nanny again, worked for a few different families. My bank account kicked me out and the debt collectors kept calling what I thought would be the worst to ever happen to me happened. It was fine. Nothing really changed. I cured my 3 anxiety disorders and my depression. Decided that I was going to be an esthetician. Found a school and asked anyone I could for money to go. Did not get the support. Cried and cried about it. Felt like I was never going to be happy or successful again. I quit music forever, had major revelations, and voice memoed them all in a 2-hour candlelit bubble bath. Decided acting was my true calling. Started practicing scenes I like and created an elaborate plan to be an actress. I told everyone I knew about it. Somehow ended up back at music. I had like $2 to my name most of the time, and almost every time I went out in public, a guy got my number. I started running again, searched for and found my true calling in life like 10 times, and each time I acted as if I was giving a TED Talk to anyone who would listen. Got obsessed with Coke slushies at QT, went on long drives and decided I wanted to own an abandoned town in the middle of nowhere, got really fixated on that. I mean, Texas was a whirlwind, and the rainstorms in the middle of the night made me feel like I had real purpose, as if I was the main character in some kind of a romantic novel. I don't know what you want me to say about this. Texas was Texas and Texas was chic. But, as you know, things did not go as planned, and the romantic novel I thought I was in was not in any way romantic. I moved back into Utah and into a family friend's home to start over again 7 months later. Now I'm in Utah barely surviving. I'm getting calls from debt collectors, and I don't even have a debit card or a bank account anymore. I have barely any cash and I still have no income. Applying and interviewing for any job I can. A month goes by. I'm stressed. But I do my best to be positive because I am a changed woman now. Finally, I get the perfect nanny job. I'm doing something I love. I feel fulfilled. I'm paying my bills on time. I'm getting back into music. I'm building my empire again. You know, I was beginning to thrive. I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm hustling, working my day job, and then I'm going to the studio and making music until I crash exhausted every night. Okay, get this. I get a text from a guy I have a thing for saying he has a layover in Salt Lake City for like an hour, right? I cannot contain my excitement. My body is straight up vibrating. I haven't seen him probably over a year. I'm nervous, I'm gonna throw up. I'm in love. Cut to his flight getting delayed. He's gonna miss his connecting, so he's staying the night for the next flight to LA. He's like, we're not making babies tonight, are we? And I'm like, so I would really love to say we're not, but I never believe myself. So I get cute, pack my bag, I'm talking to a friend on the phone for like an hour, dissecting the entire night, which I know for a fact will not at all go how I am planning. I smell amazing, like roses and jazz. James Brown on, I'm driving to pick him up, I'm waiting. He says, my flight to LA is here. Of course, I'm feeling every emotion over the top, so I'm like numb, melting into a pile of broken heart pieces because I'm in love and this is such a tragic misconnection. I think I'm more upset about it than he is. He says, miss you too, kiddo. I throw my phone out the window. I'm at work and I'm busy, but mid-task I pass a mirror and I look, because I always look at myself in a reflection. This time is different though, because I see myself and I think, wow, you're so pretty. And I'm very surprised, shocked even, because I'm truly not expecting this. So I look again, to check, see if it was a trick, and it wasn't. It's true. I look beautiful. This hadn't been happening very often, and to be honest, me looking in every reflection I ever passed wasn't about me being so full of myself and thinking, I don't know, I have this magic beauty, right? It was really me checking to see if I wanted to be me that day, if I was enough. It was about my insecurities. I'd check and be like, okay, do I love or hate myself today? So I'm looking in the mirror and I'm genuinely surprised that I don't have any complaints. Feeling a lot. I'm confused, proud, excited. I'm feeling very affected by this whole thing, and I start to do a very Starlie deep dive investigation on why. Why do I think I'm pretty right now? And even more, why am I so surprised by it? I discovered in a different way than before, the way I feel about my physical looks has absolutely nothing to do with how I look on the outside. Nothing at all to do with wearing makeup, not wearing makeup, acne, clear skin, weight gain, or loss. All of that is actually irrelevant to how I feel about my physical looks. In fact, I'm pretty sure that in this moment I was wearing an old sweater and no makeup, but I felt like, no, I knew I was glowing. And listen, it's not like this is news. I grew up with my grandmother saying pretty is as pretty does, and many other discussions about beauty on the inside being way more important than beauty on the outside. But this is way more than that. How I feel about myself is directly related to how productive I'm being, what I'm accomplishing, and how I'm growing as a person. How I see myself, how beautiful I feel I am, has simply nothing to do with the looks I was blessed with. This even goes into something I've felt for a long time, as grateful as I am to be blessed with my looks, to be beautiful and have great hair or whatever else. And trust me, I love to be pretty. I'm grateful and I get that I am very blessed. I do not care about being pretty like that. I don't want to be recognized or known as only a beautiful face. I don't want to hear compliments on my looks all day. I mean, it really is just boring. And if I'm going to be appreciated, there are better things in the way that I look. This moment in the mirror was the first time in a long time I had consistent stability in my life created by me and me only. The first time I could really see all the work I had been putting in on my emotional and mental state. I felt accomplished. Proud of my growth and how I pulled myself up from all the trauma and heartache I've experienced in my life. Proud that the new plan I had for my life, the new goals I made, were being taken to the next level because I was taking committed action to back them up. I look in the mirror and I saw beauty because I love what I'm accomplishing, who I'm becoming, and what I have always been. Enough.